Sunburned, hungover, tired, deaf, missing fingers, whatever the case may be, you're in the right place at the right time. $1,000 coming up shortly when you hear, I would say it's probably the next Green Day song we play. All you got to do is be caller 10, 800-520-1067. $1,000, a key that can start your very own Green Day signature Corvette, a working car that's yours to keep, and that's all starting anytime pretty much now through 7:30. So be ready to call and win that car and your $1,000 cash. But first, your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News with Hot Alley. Wait a minute, this must be a typo. Just let me fix this. Okay, take two. It's time for your ADD News with Snot Alley. There, that's better.
Thanks so much. I'm so glad that someone had time to do those.
Can't believe we got through the writing process. We got to experience that together. It's amazing.
Such a long joke, but it works, I guess. All right, before the break, we talked to Joey Chestnut about being banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He talked about how they had tried to get him back in at the last minute, but it just wasn't enough. Then all the people who never had hope of winning with Joey in the race got to finally have their day of glory on the day. A guy named Patrick Bertoletti, lame,
1,000-to-1 shot,
won by eating 58 hot dogs in 10 minutes. But here's the thing. When we talked to Joey, he said he would still be eating hot dogs on the 4th, and he was at a military base in Texas, and he ate 57 hot dogs in 5 minutes. So he almost beat the Nathan's champion
in half the time.
Right.
And he wasn't even trying because his thing, I mean, yes, he did a good job. He raised like $100,000 for the soldiers, military families.
Well, he competed against 4 soldiers. So the 4 soldiers combined had to try and beat him, and they were only able to eat 49 hot dogs in 5 minutes. 4 people.
Yeah.
So he took, and this
the bottomless pit, that Joey Chestnut.
This is the big win when they announced he won.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's your 4th place hot dog eating champion, Joey Chestnut.
It was sad because my father-in-law texted us over the break and was like, guys, you got to remember to put your TVs on 4th of July, whatever the time is, Joey's Chestnut's going to take. And I had to be the one to break the news to him and say he's not going to be in it. And he's like, that must be fake news. And I was like, no, it's not happening. And then he was trying to prove me wrong. I was like, we talked to him. He's already going to be eating somewhere else.
I said fake news.
I don't like I always hated the idea that, because, it takes place on the East Coast, usually around noon. So for us, like 9 in the morning out here. And I would wake up, a lot of years, I would wake up to like the results already. I kind of didn't get the glory. It's weird.
It's just him holding the mustard belt.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, there it is.
I missed the whole thing. But
I don't think I've ever really watched the whole thing.
Listen,
I just watched the end.
You better believe when Joey goes toe-to-toe, tongue-to-tongue, throat-to-throat against Kobayashi and this Netflix thing that's happening on Labor Day weekend, we're going to be all over that. I want to be on the scene. I want to be backstage reporting.
Oh, that'd be great.
If
any idiot should be covering this, it should be you.
It should be, yes, all of us, thank you, but I agree. If any idiot's going to spend time on this, please let that idiot be me.
All right, goodbye to John Cena. The WWE Money in the Bank event happened over the weekend in Toronto. John Cena announced that he is retiring from the WWE in 2025. Apparently, he's 47. I had no idea he was that old, but he announced he's leaving after 23 years with WWE, even though he's been kind of part-time the last few years because, he has to do a bunch of movies. And here's the end of his speech. I'll play it and then notice any similarities.
If you want some, hurry up and come get some, because the last time is now.
Kind of sounds like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's your 4th place hot dog eating champion, Joey Chestnut.
If you want some, come get some.
What's interesting is that the only reason he's, quote, retiring is so that at any future WrestleMania event, he can show up and everyone will be shocked. It's only shocking.
Well, he already announced in the retirement thing that he's going to be coming back for some other events.
Right.
And then he raises his hands in the air and does those 2 buttholes.
Yeah. That's the best part of all of the WWE stuff, when the guys that are like, they're not even wrestling anymore. Here they are now. They're a part of the Royal Rumble. That stuff only gets more exciting once they're retired. As opposed opposed to when they're expected.
Yeah, I get confused because with the WWE events, like I feel like they're far enough apart that I think everyone's making a comeback all the time. I'm like, whoa!
Constantly. Hey, Undertaker, where you been, bud?
That's crazy. Hi there.
Klein, Alley,
Show! Mornings on KROQ 106.7 KROQ.
It's your news now. Then we kick off a brand new hour of the show. Totally interactive. 800-520-1067. And a lot of people already tagging us this morning in some of the worst parking jobs they've come across. Others, some are arguing it shouldn't count if you took pictures 2 weeks ago. If Park Week is this week, you have to encounter the bad parkers this week. And my feeling is, listen, you will always come across terrible parkers. I mean, the parking lots, a lot of the ones around here, at least like right where we are close to this building, the lines are not painted to accommodate big cars and big people. We've gotten fatter. Our cars have gotten fatter, and we've gotten fatter.
And we've gotten dumber.
And the spots have gotten smaller because, a lot of times they try to, there's like a rule. I think someone told us one year during Park Week that they have to accommodate a certain amount of cars for a building to be a certain size.
Oh,
so they make
right.
they know.
They make the spots super tiny, just like they do on airplanes.
They know you're screwed. That's why no one respects compact cars only spots or, back in. No one really expected mother parking. It's all just whatever.
I don't even think expected mother parking exists anymore. And I think compact is like only little Fiats can fit in there.
Yeah.
Like if you really...
But that won't stop someone
won't.
with an Escalade from trying to fit
there. But a true compact spot the way it looks now, I don't think any regular car, I don't think a Civic can fit in there.
No, it is Park Week. It's back. The worst parkers on the planet all seem to live and park right here in Southern California. So tag us in your pictures, hashtag Park Week at Klein Alley Show. We give away tickets all week long for some of our least favorite / favorite parking jobs. And right now, your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. Please don't let her ask any questions. We only have a couple minutes for this.
All right. It was interesting driving back into Southern California after being away. In the last 20 minutes of the drive, I began smelling smoke, seeing fire, and then also seeing the temperatures climb up to the triple digits, and it felt like I was literally entering hell. And it wasn't just hot here. There were record temperatures in Vegas and Palm Springs, Death Valley, all over the place. In Palm Springs, it reached 124 degrees, which is an all-time high. In Vegas, it was 120 degrees, which was an all-time high. In Death Valley, it was 129, which tied their all-time high from 2007. And then you had fires in Napa and Thousand Oaks, and there's a big one still burning in Santa Barbara. And the big concern, apparently right now, is that Neverland Ranch could burn down, in which case I say let it burn.
All those memories, fond memories.
Why are we so, oh no, Neverland Ranch, just burn it down, man.
It's a couple people leaving messages on the Goat Line about driving while seeing smoke, and I think this is a valuable PSA.
Hi, thoughts with Jeff. Driving home from work. Oh my God, there's a little smoke in the air. People start slamming on their brakes, and they're 20 miles away. Don't stop. Okay? Then I get closer, and the fire's like almost out, and everyone is just like looking at it, and I don't know.
People do have a weird way. When you see fire in the distance, some people decide, I can't keep driving towards that. I'm an idiot. So they just kind of stop.
Well, they don't want to be that idiot that's driving into a forest fire.
But Jeff's kind of right. Sometimes you see it, especially after they got it out. That's when you see sometimes the most smoke after it's gone.
Yeah, right. Or it's just a barbecue. And you're that idiot who's like, I'm going to report this fire, and then it's just a barbecue.
You realize it's carne asada. You're like, I should have driven towards it.
Delicious smoke. All right, as always, over a long weekend, there's an uptick in crime, but the plot twist in all of it is that people were not depending on cops. They were instead catching their own criminals.
You got
a couple things happened. Yeah, these are some interesting stories. So there was a hit and run that happened where this drunk guy hit an entire family on bikes. Thankfully, nobody died, but a lot of them critically injured. But the guy just tried to bolt. And another driver witnessed this happen and followed the guy. Was like, I'm going to take this into my own hands. Followed him enough to get a read on where he was going. He called 911. He gave him the description of the car and got the guy caught. And then this other woman, she tracked down her own stolen car and got it back the same day it got stolen. Ooh. So she had left her car running to grab something inside really quick. When she came back, her car was gone and her wallet was in the car. So the person that stole the car started making purchases at like 7-Eleven and Walgreens and stuff, and she was able to follow where they were,
Smart.
saw them in a Target parking lot, went up to them and was like, hey, dude, this is my car. And the guy just was like, okay, here. And
Great.
left and gave her the car back.
Yes, usually you want to shut down. Oh, car gets stolen, shut it down. But smarter move, let them use it. Follow them.
And just follow him. And then she was able to, I mean, imagine how much longer that process would have been if you had involved the cops. You know, or you maybe never would have gotten it back. And in this case, she was able to get it back on the same day, later that day.
And also, like you pointed out with the first story, the trailing someone that did a crime and being, if they know you're following them, they're going to try to, make these crazy moves to get away. But if you just do it kind of low key, where you're like, I know what's going on, I always thought I'd be really good at that, like low key following someone.
You think you would be?
I think I could be good at it because even though I don't have a lot of patience,
Because you're really good at distracted driving.
I'm very good at distracted driving.
So you just seem like you're not paying
No,
attention.
because I always, when I get bored or when I get really tired behind the wheel, the trick I always do is I pretend I'm being followed.
Oh, that's right. For your own excitement.
It actually like helps me wake up a little bit because I just pretend everyone out there is trying to get me,
All right, and then sad news for 80-year-olds everywhere. We've all been stuck in line behind this person. Paying with personal checks at Target is going away.
Wow.
They are not going to allow people to pay by personal check anymore. And I wonder if Johnny even knows what a personal check is. I think everyone has one, maybe a month that they write.
Well, someone on the
but
phone
I
is
could be
not
wrong.
happy about this. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Allie, tell her.
Yeah.
Yeah, those checks that you have, I know you just got a fresh new book of them. They're not good at Target.
Yeah.
No.
Can't use them.
Yeah.
No.
No, she said no.
Please stop.
Johnny-
And don't argue with the checker.
Johnny, you ever written a check before?
Brother, I have never owned or written a check in my life. I wouldn't even know how to do it even if you told me.
Oh my! I should bring in my checkbook and see if he would know how to even just ask him to fill
Fill
out
it
a
out.
$40 check.
Say you have to pay $40 and give this to whatever. You think you could do it?
No.
I probably have one somewhere floating around, I would imagine.
Where do you even get the checks? When I turned into an adult, they never said, here's your checks for life. Where am I
When
supposed
I
to get
turned
checks
into
from?
one, like he was a tadpole or something.
Yeah. When you came out of the
When you
cocoon
grew your legs.
as an adult?
Yeah, when I turned 18, nobody said, here's your check.
Where do you think you would get checks, Johnny?
Why would I use them or where'd I get them?
Where would you think you would get checks?
I mean, like the bank or like the mail or something. They'd be like, hey, here's your checks. Like, use them wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Use them wisely.
Don't overuse these. We can't make more.
They give you a pep talk? Is that what happens?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're
Nobody
a
uses
man
checks
now.
anymore either.
Yeah, well, you can't even use them at Target. You're right. I mean, but it's
I would love for him to try and go up there and use one at Target.
But what's going to
before it
happen
goes away.
with the oversized checks that you get when you win the lottery or when you win like a golf tournament?
They're just going to give you a giant credit card now.
Yeah, because I mean those are kind of cool still.
They were.
I mean, I agree. Regular checks, lame. Get rid of them. Who needs them? But the oversized for winning something.
So cool.
Klein Alley. Klein Alley Show.
KROQ, the world famous KROQ. KROQ.
Text on the text line says, can I borrow some of Allie's Ozempic? I'm pretty heavy. Sent in from Doc Griffin, drummer for the Foo Fighters. Thank you for reaching in on the show. Also, yeah, a lot of people are hitting us up saying there's like weird technical glitches happening throughout the show today. That's not on us. I don't know what's going on, but apparently the signal keeps cutting out. And if it's affecting you, sorry. All I can say is I'm sure someone here took some time off, and as a result, things ain't working properly. Usually I would blame us, but in this particular case,
The broadcast itself still isn't fully back from vacation.
let's just assume that all the parts that are cutting out is when the show is really funny. And that's the stuff you're missing. But
We
it was
just said something amazing.
right. Whenever it cuts out, that was the good stuff. Let's get to your news now. Then we get into a brand new hour of the show, complete with a where'd you go, how far'd you go, first date.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. I can't believe this show is still on the air. I'm a Big Boy fan myself.
You son of a bitch.
Love it!
Kill that bell, damn it. Kill that
so
bell.
long.
It's still going. Jesus Christ.
All right, the Olympics are starting in a couple of weeks. Some of the Olympic trials are still going on. Magazines are now doing their spreads that are introducing you to some of the athletes that will be competing so you can get all excited about them. And one company did a spread on the female rugby team from Britain, and it has people all pissed off because the female rugby players are in lingerie. And it is a bra company that put out the ad, so it makes sense that they're in bras and underwear. But a lot of people are going, why are you sexualizing these incredible athletes? Why do they have to whittle them down to just, how they look naked? But then other women are going, hey, these aren't just skinny anorexic models. They're super toned, muscled women, and it's empowering to see people in those bodies on full display in a magazine. And I think regardless of sex, we all want to see athletes naked, don't we?
I mean, not.
Like, think of the body issue that they do every year, and it's just like these incredible athletes, and it's just them all naked, and you're like, whoa, look at that, like, glute muscle that I never will have.
Sure. But
you just think what the body is capable of.
When you think of, attractive, classically attractive athletes, you're probably not thinking female rugby players.
Yeah, but then you look at these pictures and you're like, oh my God, these rugby players are hot.
Right. So
but they're also very muscled up and
Right.
it's good for people to see different types of bodies.
Yeah, there's always, seems like that's the point of the Olympics, is to create a controversy every 4 years about something that doesn't really
matter.
But look, if you're a female rugby team and most of the time you're not getting a lot of glory, then you're in the Olympics, that's a big deal. And then you also get a couple of bucks on top to get in your bra and underwear for a photo shoot.
Yeah, or you're like,
great.
someone wants to photograph me in my bra and underwear? That's awesome. I would love that opportunity. But think about it. Women's basketball is doing better than ever. Women's water polo now has Flava Flav.
Yeah.
And the rugby team now has a beautiful lingerie spread. It's a great year for women's sports.
Great. I don't know if the third example necessarily belongs on that list, but sure.
It's something.
It's definitely a good time. And I'm sure, look, every year, the Olympics, there'll be a story or two stories we don't know about yet that'll break out, whoever it is. Some unknown person that ends up getting a couple of golds, and the world gets excited. I'm not a Olympic fan in general. I don't really care.
I love watching the Olympics.
I know there's people like you, and then there's people that just go like, what else? It feels like a lot of it is...
If it was on, would you watch it?
It is on. It's on everywhere you go. And sometimes I go, is there anything... There's got to be something else on.
Yeah, but you don't want to see people doing cool, amazing things that you'd never be able to do? Like when people can go on the bars and the rings, I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe that bodies can do this.
I'd rather watch a Dodgers game.
What?
I'd rather watch a regular season Dodgers game
You just
against
watch
a bad
regular
team.
sport that you could watch any time of the year?
Yeah, probably. Unless it was like one of the really weird things. But all the weird ones are more the winter ones, not the summer ones.
What about the betting, though? Don't you want to bet?
If I gamble,
stuff?
I can get very involved.
Okay. In anything.
In anything. And I'm not going to be betting on that rugby team because clearly they're distracted with their curves and whatnot. So I will not be gambling on that international rugby team.
All right. Maybe you set off some illegal fireworks this year and you think you got away with it. And I hope this is only happening in Northern California, but I know for a fact that it is happening in California. And this year, some people are going to receive citations for illegal fireworks in the mail.
What?
Yeah, so you think,
How are they
cool.
going to prove it?
It says this year some agencies worked undercover to catch people violating firework rules.
Oh, forget that.
And they drove around in unmarked cars and cited people without their knowledge, and they are now going to send those tickets in the mail. So now people are going to get tickets in the mail after thinking that they got away with their illegal firework
It's like
game.
getting a red light camera ticket. You just kind of right in the trash.
How you? Excuse me, sir. What's your name? Can I see your ID?
My name's Terry. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
All right, thanks, Terry.
See you later.
Yeah, I mean, how is that
What's your
happening?
address, Terry?
What was that, a Roman candle? That's right.
Hey, pretend it's really cool. That was the coolest illegal firework I've ever
Cool,
seen.
and this is your address? Give me your driver's license.
I
All
wanna show-
right, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're dumb enough to give up your information, I guess you should get...
I mean, I'm sure there's a big amount of people that are setting off illegal fireworks that are dumb.
we talked about how...
Don't you think?
Yeah, the Venn diagram.
How
Yeah.
stupid it was that they blew up so many perfectly delicious watermelons to remind everyone to be safe around the 4th. And then, of course, some guy did blow his own head off. You saw that guy try to light a firework on his head?
And I
he
get
died?
it's like, oh, family mourns. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, but why did you do that?
Well,
You're stupid.
The guy was trying to, he wanted to up the... It's like not enough to just have fireworks. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to hold it. That's not enough. Seen there, been there, done that. The guy's like, watch this. I'll put this on my head and light it. And probably... There was that moment where I was like, don't do it, but also but do it, and then the guy died. It sucks. It's tragedy end. But this is why
But what
so
do you
many
say
watermelons.
at the funeral? You're like, oh, what a great guy. But it's also like he died because he did something stupid.
Yeah.
Like
well,
it was his own fault.
Right. A lot of people die doing stuff. So it doesn't make the death is still tragic, I guess.
I know, but I think about selfie deaths and stuff like that.
Right.
And what is the vibe at the funeral? Is everyone like, oh man, I'm gone too soon? Or are they like, God, what an idiot, more cucumber sandwiches?
I know you're thinking, man, those two look funny.
And we agree, and so do our parents.
So we need to get some plastic surgery, and the only way we can afford that is if you listen to our full radio show every day live on KROQ or download the podcast.
Yeah, which is all free, so I don't really know how we're making money on that, because we get paid terribly.
Yeah, it's a really bad situation, which is why she's got on no makeup, and I'm wearing a shirt that I found in Lost and Found.
I am wearing makeup.
You are?
Yes.